Good evening. My name is David Sadler. I'm the IT Director for Caroline County, as well as the Project Manager for VATI 2023. This evening, we're here to discuss the broadband update from the Broadband Advisory Committee. And of course, it's April 20th, 2026. The VATI 2023 Caroline East project was awarded by the Department of Housing and Community Development and was a project that was slated to go from October 23rd, 2023 through October 23rd, 2026. This project was to cover broadband expansion to unserved areas east of I-95. It is a joint project between Breezeline, Caroline County, and the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. This project is estimated to be 439 miles of fiber construction and to serve 3,910 unserved homes. This project focuses mostly on the rural areas, since all of the highly populated areas are already served by an internet service provider. As of this evening, all areas south of the 207-301 line are now available for sales. If you live in the area south of that 207-301 line, which we will show you in the next slide, please contact Reggie Spivey, Breezeline Sales, at 410-490-6082. And again, that's all areas south of the 301-207 line, all the way to the Hanover County line, to the south, the Hanover County line to the southwest, King William and King and Queen to the east. Upcoming areas to be released. So GCV 18, 19, and 20 are currently scheduled for sale as of July 2026. So again, June. So in June of 2026, you will be able to place an order if everything remains on schedule. Here's a picture of 18, 19, and 20. It's an area that goes from Route 207 across Ladysmith Road, a little bit to the south of Ladysmith Road, but mostly north, and then north areas along Marie Road or Page Road. TCV 21, 22 are estimated to be open for sale as of July 2026. Pictured on the map, you'll see 21 and 22. That's an area along Route 2 to the north of Bowling Green and to the west, across the railroad tracks, and a large portion of Page Road is covered in this area. GCV 23, 24, and 25 are estimated to open for sale in August of 2026. You see these areas along the northwestern Spotsylvania County line down to the pre-existing areas that we talked about in the last slide. So these areas on the map, as seen in blue, are open for will be open for sale. The final area to open for sale is GCV 26, which is estimated to be released in September of 2026. This is the last area of the project. Once this is complete, then the project will be substantially complete. This is an area along Route 17 at the Spotsylvania County line down to the existing 21 project that's already been constructed, and some areas north to the Rappahannock River. To date, progress has been made. Over 198 miles of fiber construction has been completed, with a large amount of additional fiber in the ground to be completed shortly. As of this evening, over 2,170 homes that were previously unserved now have service available to them. Work is ongoing across multiple zones. So construction can be seen across the county, mostly in that area along Ladysmith Road at this time. The total fiber to be installed on this project was originally estimated at 439 miles of fiber, but due to changes in design as the project progresses, it will probably be slightly below what was originally estimated. The majority of the work will be completed before the October 2026 deadline. However, there is remaining work in specific areas that will be done after this date. And this will be due to the inability to work in agricultural fields and to reach long driveways across multiple property owners. One example is a family subdivision with multiple property owners that are required to give easements along that private drive. Breezeline is requesting a 6-month extension of the project. Caroline County is the grant recipient and has approved the request of a 6-month extension of the project from DHCD. If approved by DHCD, the new deadline would be April 2027. The reasons for the delay: weather. If we all remember back in January, early February, we had a long stretch, nearly 4 weeks of weather that Breezeline was prohibited from going on any roads under their VDOT permits. So that resulted right away in a 1-month delay. Utility coordination. So getting the lines and the poles replaced by Rappahannock Electric ahead of the construction by Breezeline. There's been some delays in getting that make-ready work completed. Property access due to easement issues. So the long drives and the private drives. Breezeline is doing its best to reach out via letter to the property owners that are affected. However, they are having difficulty contacting some property owners that may not actually live on the road, for example, rental properties. Agricultural restrictions are prohibiting access during the planting season. So as of right now, fields are being planted and Rappahannock Electric is not able to access the fields to construct the make-ready work needed for Breezeline to cross those fields. The request for an extension is based on 2 main areas at this time. Limited field access that starts in early spring and runs through late fall. The fields necessary for aerial construction are delayed until after the harvest season. Other areas continue to be constructed around these agricultural areas, such as the underground work leading up to and away from those fields. However, the actual access to the fields it's just not accessible at this time. The second area of delays that is a big concern is the private drives and access. So it's very important that we listen to this section if you live on a private drive or a long private road. So long private drives remain an issue. Multi-residence coordination. So again, those long driveways with multi-residents on that driveway need to give permission for Breezeline in order to be able to construct the necessary lines to serve those homes. At this time, outreach is ongoing by Breezeline. Caroline County will be sending letters to property owners on these long drives and private roads that will need agreements to be signed prior to service being installed. If your driveway is a long drive, it is a private road, or if it's marked no trespass, and just know that Breezeline is not permitted to drive down that road to contact you. So the contact will have to be by letter. If you live on a private drive, please be on the lookout for a letter from Breezeline and one from Caroline County on how to proceed with construction. It's very important. If you see those letters come in and you know you live on a long private drive, please pay attention to those letters so that we can get the property access agreement signed and construction can proceed. Unfinished private drives are not eligible after the closeout. So an extension to the grant and response for the property owners will address this issue. So by extending the grant for an additional 6 months, that gives Breezeline, Caroline, and the property owners an additional 6 months to get the construction complete on those long private drives. Property owners who do not respond or refuse permission will be removed from the grant and may bear future costs of construction if they choose to later take service. So again, get the letter, you respond, permission's given, instructions complete before the closeout of the grant. If for whatever reason you choose not to grant permission, then we'll be required to pay the cost of the construction later on. It's very important for everyone to know. Notification letters are being sent out already by Breezeline and will be sent out from Caroline County. Overall, the project is largely on track. By the end of the original deadline of October 2026, the majority of the construction will be completed. However, there will be some areas that are affected by the agricultural fields and also long drives that need to be constructed. But by the end of the original end of the project, the majority of the construction will be complete. The extension ensures that we're able to complete the agricultural construction as well as the long drives and drops. So we will be focusing on those remaining areas after the October 2026 deadline. It is important that we get property access agreements because Caroline does remain committed to delivering internet access to all the addresses that were named in those grants. Other information. So addresses in Charlesburg that were not included in the 2023 grant with Verizon will be served by iWisp. iWisp, the company that has been awarded that construction of that project under the BEAD program, estimates that construction will begin in July. The project will take approximately 12 months to complete. Addresses on Wrightsville Road, Smoots, and Chase Streets that were not included in the 2023 grant are currently scheduled to be serviced by Starlink through the BEAD program, a federally funded program. The Caroline County Board of Supervisors has directed the Broadband Advisory Committee to explore other options for these houses that were not in the VADI 2023 grant. Our next broadband update will be Monday, May 18th, 2026. If you live in the areas that are currently being constructed, it's important that you stay tuned to this channel or check the Caroline County website because any delays in releasing those areas due to the agricultural delays will be notified as soon as we are aware of them. So it's always, as always, we suggest that you subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified if we release an update prior to the May 18th, 2026 release of this report. On the 18th of May, you can see the same report on the YouTube site that you're viewing this presentation on, or you can go to the Caroline County website, https://co.caroline.va.us, and then click the Broadband tab. Again, thank you for your time this evening, and thanks for your continued engagement in this project.